So I've been losing some coolant since the last time I checked it. I noticed it went under the minimum mark. What I noticed, or we noticed, was the thermostat housing and there, right in here. That one, when the car is running and it gets pretty hot, up to temperature. This, I think it's spilling or leaking, because you could see like white from the, I'm guessing, antifreeze. So there's like white marks around, like if it's like if it got wet or something. So I have a Mazda 6 2013 where we replaced the outlet, which is on the other side of the engine, and with an aluminum part I got from Amazon, and I got it back in January of this year, 2025, and we're now in September and it's been performing very well. In other words, it has no leaks or hasn't failed. So I'm gonna replace this. It says it fits on this too. The Mazda has a 2.5, so does this, and this is a Fusion 2013, so it says they're compatible parts. So I'm gonna try switching it out as well, both with aluminum. So here's the parts I'll be using. This is for the outlet, aluminum. This is the one I installed before on a Mazda. Been working great. And this is gonna be the thermostat housing with thermostat. I got this one is the TRQ. I've never tried it, but I mean, it's aluminum, so it seems promising. This won't really give you much, but I believe the manufacturer, or at least the seller, is Mili Parts, M-I-L-I Parts. I believe so. If not, I'll correct it. What I did, like I said, I installed this before on the 2013 Mazda 6. It has a 2.5 and it works great. It says it's compatible for this car as well. So I'm going to start off by removing the cover down here, and after that I'm going to drain the radiator. Before I replaced the heater hose not too long ago, so I'm going to try to use the coolant that comes out again. So I'm going to try to catch it as much as I can, so I don't have to use too much more of a new bottle, so of a new gallon that I have. So see how that goes. Got this kit a while back from Amazon. It's worked pretty well. So this is what I'm going to use to take off the hose clamps and to loosen the hoses with the picks. So to drain the radiator, I did take off the cover here, and then I took off the plastic that connects to the front of the bumper. Those screws there, they're the ones here. Those are T30s, and the bolts, the ones that have like the hexagon or whatever, those are size 7 on the socket. So this is how much coolant came out on mine. Not too much. I put the holes there too from that other opening when you took off the plug, which I had to remove. But that's as much as you get, so it doesn't seem like too much. So I'm sure there's still a lot in the system for when I take everything off. And because of limited space, I think these pliers will do the best. I have some with an angle, but they're too big. They don't fit in there, so let me see what I can do with these. Because of the sensor here, it's kind of hard to... I might take it off just so I could put the pliers right on the clamp. Let me do that. Okay, so I was able to move that sensor out of the way, which gave me a little more room here. Alright, here we go. Okay, they're not sliding, even though I'm pressing it all the way in. Let me see. That'll do. It looks like locked into place. Right there. Yeah, it's locked. Those clamps are locked now, so they're gonna stay open for now. So let me loosen that hose. That pick that came with the kit wasn't fitting in here too well, so I got this other one. Try to get it in there. Move it around the holes, kind of tend to stick it. Let me do it with two hands. Okay, so I was able to unstick it some, so I just go back and forth. Kind of moving it around and sliding it. Oh, sorry, so good unstick it. Now before I take it off, I'm gonna loosen this one as well. Alright, this one's a little bit harder to get into, but kind of got it. There we go. It's tight again because I had to let it go, but I'm just going to maneuver it out of the way, and then I'll do the same thing with the pick. Alright, this one was a pain to get to, but I finally got the clamp moved away from the edge, and I'm going to start loosening it up if I could to take off these hoses and then get to the part. Alright, so once you remove that top hose right here, you're going to lose a lot more fluid. Got a whole bunch that came out. So be prepared for that. It's kind of why I put the rag over the alternator, but I don't know I was going to get that much. Alright, we're probably going to get a lot more fluid coming out of the lower holes. So let me see. Yep, it's draining. Okay, that was a mess. That's good. Alright, so with an extension and a ratchet, size 8 on the bit, I'm going to start with that back bolt, then do the bottom one, and then I'll do the one on the left right there. Alright, so the housing is shaped this way. Goes down here like this. Kinda. So you know you got one hole right there on the right. And you got one down here, right there. And then I'll do this one last. So I already loosened up this one. And I'm loosening up this one down here. And then I'll do this top one last. Alright, so here are the 3 bolts I took out. I just gotta take off the part. Let's see. Oof. Here we go. Yep. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of antifreeze. You're gonna lose a lot of coolant. Okay, so the part doesn't physically look bad. Like it looks pretty good. But when you look here where I was initially pointing out that it was like white when it got hot, which is right here, it was like if steam was coming out or something. When you look on the back side here, you can see the gasket's pretty much flat all the way around, but right here the plastic is starting to disintegrate right above the gasket, and that's where I noticed it was getting white before I took it off. So I think the coolant was getting through here, eating up the plastic, and then turning this side, it was steaming it, so it looked like it was dry, like dry radiator fluid. And then when it cooled down, it would like go away. So I think it was just leaking. Okay, so I'm gonna clean it all up around the where the gasket seats. Oh man, I can't focus. Here we go. It's all black right there where the gasket was melting, I guess, or the plastic. I don't know what that was, but I'm gonna clean that up and mount the new part. Alright, so I got the new part in there. I am now tightening it. I'm not sure about the torque, but as long as it's snug. I know like when I work on the Chevy Cruze, water pumps, the water outlet, all that is about 71 inch-pounds, and so I could do that with this ratchet. So I'm gonna do about 75 to 80 inch-pounds on all three. I already did the bottom one right now, so I'm just gonna follow up on the other two. Just get it. Let's see. Okay, and this one. Alright, let me do that with two hands before I drop it. Okay, so it's back on, both hoses, and I torqued it. So put the sensor back right here. So we should be good. Now I'm gonna get started with the other side, the outlet. Alright, so I already loosened the clamps on both the hoses on this side. There's two more small hoses, I think, on both sides under. So right now I'm gonna take off these hoses. I think I'm gonna make a mess again. Hopefully not too much, but if it does drop a lot of fluid here, I'm just gonna pour some water on top to wash it off, and so I don't have smoke and the smell of the fluid, radiator fluid, constantly. So let me just get to that. Alright, so I got both of the hoses in the front, the one big one here and the one back here off, this one. So now I gotta work on this little one back here, and then you got another medium-sized hose where you can see it right here in the background. So I think I'm gonna take this one off with some needle nose pliers. It's a small hose. It's the plastic hose, goes all around to the reservoir. Take that one off, unbolt. I think there's 4 bolts. Unbolt the part and then take off the other one because it's kind of hard to get access. And I didn't want to take off all the whole air cleaner and stuff, so let's do that. Alright, so I'm having trouble taking off that little hose back here. I can't get anything in there to unstick it. I don't want to remove the battery and all that, so I know that would be the smart thing to do, maybe even quicker. But I'm just gonna unbolt the part. 4 bolts. That's how the part goes right here. So there's 4 bolts, those 2 holes on the bottom, and then I'm covering with my thumb these 2 holes. So that means there's one right here, one in there, and then under that, behind there, and on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off just to make it easier to get those hoses, and then before I put the part on, I'm gonna attach the rear hoses and then put the bolts on. Oh, and that middle gasket that came with the new part. Alright, so those bolts 4 bolts are part of the part are from this part. You see, I can move it around, so that'll give me access to the small holes back here, and then I'll pull out that medium hose right there, and then put them on the new part, bolt it back on. Comes out here. I gotta take it off and clean in there that surface area just to make it clean for the next gasket. Okay, so the part's off. This part doesn't look bad at all. I mean, aside from that, but that just looks like a old coolant that was leaking, and it was leaking before I changed that part. This part here, this line, because it was leaking from there, the old line. And then but this same part failed on my Mazda 6. It ate through the plastic. It was all gone, like broken, and the gasket was messed up. This one's not as bad, but I'm not gonna wait for that to happen. This one's still a good part, a regular part, but the car has about 141,000 miles, and it's not long before it goes. So I'm gonna clean up right there, put the new part, connect the hoses. That's the medium size hose right there, right here. The small hose was the one that comes from that plastic line right there with the heat shield, and I have it tucked up so you can't see it, but let me clean that up and put the new part on. Alright, so here's both parts next to each other. This one, you can remove this if you have, I think the 6 takes the sensor that goes through there, but it's good it comes with this that seals it off for this car. The gasket is right here, so goes like that, and it works pretty well. It has this little lip that gets crushed when you install it. Works well. Like I said, I put this on the Mazda in January of this year, 2025. We're now in September. Hasn't been a problem since. And the car was overheating, that Mazda, when the old plastic part failed. So hoping and expecting that this aluminum part's gonna take a lot longer to wear out, if ever. Alright, so both hoses are back on. The back hoses, that one, the one under right there, small holes. So now I'm going to put the gasket and 2 of the bolts that hold it. So it's a metal gasket, and the lip goes towards the part. So it goes like that. It has these little tabs sticking out in the bolt holes, this one and the bottom one. So I'm going to put it on in the back, put the 2 bolts through it just to hold it in place, and then start them back there where I could start them off to mount the part, and they won't fall off. The gasket or the part won't fall off, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I got the gasket and the bolts on. They're snug, but they're not tight. But like I had said before with the other part, it doesn't take a lot to torque these to spec, and I could do it with this ratchet. I've done it with this ratchet and then with an actual torque wrench, and saw that this ratchet does it pretty well on spot. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So first one here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that one's done. I'll do kind of in a cross pattern. I gotta find the one down here. Hold on. Okay, so I got it back. This time I lined it up before I started recording. That's 2. then do this one next. Alright. And then the last one down here. Okay. So that puts them pretty close to spec. It's nice and tight now. I'll add on the other hoses that go here. So it'll be this one. And then this one back here. Okay. Alright. This one, now I have to squeeze this, tighten this with a clamp, pliers to move it back a little, and then go all the way here to taps right here. And then just move that right here closer, and it's locked right now, so I'll make sure it snaps right here when it gets here. So alright, so the part is on, all the hoses are on with the clamps. And I did remove the part of the air filter just so I could get better access to that hose that was back there, but okay, so both parts are done. They're both torqued. Everything's back on now. I just gotta refill it. You know, I'm not gonna show all that. I just gotta refill it with antifreeze and let the air out, burp it, and that should be it.